Hi friends, welcome to On the Go with Macros, the show that helps the busy working mom figure out what are macros, how do you count them, and why do I even need to count them, and how to make them work in a busy, on the go lifestyle. This podcast, this show will last about 10 minutes or less because I'm busy and so are you. So my name is Jill Murphy, and let's get after it. This first episode is about why should you even worry about counting macros. So let's talk about a little bit who I am. My name is Jill Murphy. I am a registered nurse by trade, and I am a fitness and macro coach. So I have been a registered nurse for over 24 years, and there's a lot of nutrition that you learn when you're in school to be a registered nurse, and then applicable to the job, there's a lot of things that you learn. I became interested in counting macros about 10 years ago, and several years after the birth of my second child, and I'd become a runner. And I picked up running when my second child, my middle child, was about 1. So I started running, and I was trying to lose that baby weight, right? And so I started running, and I picked up counting macros. Now, I did it all by Googling and trying to figure out what I should be eating, what I shouldn't be eating, how many calories I should be eating, and I really focused on calories. I knew macros were proteins, carbs, and fats, but I really didn't know how to count them or how to work that in to my daily life, so I focused really on calories. I was running somewhere between 20 and 25 miles a week, and that wasn't when I was training for something specific. That was just my running. I didn't do any strength training at the time. I simply ran, and I ate around 1,200 calories a day. And if you hang out for any amount of time here, you'll figure out that I was digging myself a hole. And if that's you, I want you to hang out here, and I want you to keep listening because I'm going to teach you how to get out of that hole. But I did that for years, and then I guess after the birth of my third child, so she's 9, so probably about 7 or 8 years ago, I became interested in what are macros and how can I figure this out. And so I hired my first macro coach probably 6 or 7 years ago. And the basics were great. I learned what macros were. I learned why I should be counting them. I learned how to fuel my body, except they were very interested in me reaching a certain weight on the scale. And so we started driving my macros down, and I just didn't end up feeling very good. And so I took what knowledge I had from that, and I moved on. I quit using that macro coach, and I moved on. So in April of 2021, I hired a Faster Way to Fat Loss coach. And macros became clear as a bell to me because I was taught what they are, what they do, why you need them. And I was very, very successful on that program. I was able to lose over 10 pounds and over 16 inches in 6 weeks, which was huge for me. And I didn't need to run 25 miles a week. And I was able to incorporate strength training. And my pants fit better than they ever had before. And I was able to get into clothes that I had not been able to get into. And I had all of this energy. It was just soaring, and it was unbelievable. It's like, I've got to share this with everybody else. So in October of 2021, I became a Faster Way to Fat Loss coach. And in addition to that, I went on to extra training, and I am a certified personal trainer and a certified nutrition coach. All that to say is this: if you've ever counted calories, then you have the basics of what to do. You just need to learn how to count macros. And why is counting macros different from counting calories? Well, this is why. Let's just say you plan to eat 1,200 calories today, which that's way too low, but we'll get into that deeper later. You could go eat 1,200 calories in ice cream, but you wouldn't feel well. Or let's say you were able to divide those 1,200 calories into proteins, carbs, and fats, the appropriate ratio for your body. That you ate enough carbs to give you the energy, that you ate enough fat to make sure that you slept well, because the hormones that control sleep are actually directly affected by how much fat we eat in our diet. That you were able to eat enough protein to keep you fuller longer so that you weren't ravenous every 2 hours. Have you ever wondered why you just are so hungry 2 hours after you eat? I just ate. Why do I want Cheez-Its? I just ate. Why do I want candy? I just ate. Why do I need potato chips? It could likely be that you're not eating enough protein. And the only way to know that is if you look at a breakdown and you actually count the macros. If you count the calories, you're gonna get to a number. If you count the macros, you're gonna see where the breakdown occurs. So, counting macros is actually so very good for your body, particularly if you have goals to meet, if you have weight loss goals to meet, if you have muscle gaining goals to meet, if you want to get stronger in the gym. All of those things are affected by counting macros. Did you know that 80% of the changes that you see in your body composition are directly related to nutrition? You've heard that old term, you can't outrun a bad diet. Well, it's exactly true. I can go run 20 or 25 miles next week, but if I'm only giving my body processed carbohydrate junk, then my body is not going to be fueled effectively or efficiently. And if it's not fueled effectively or efficiently, it will cry out for other things. And if you don't know what to give it, you'll give it more of the same junk and wonder why it's not working. So that's why we count macros, so that our body gets the proper ratio of proteins, carbs, and fats for our body's goals, not your neighbor, not your coworker, not your sister-in-law that lost a lot of weight eating keto, not your sister-in-law that did the skinny drops and she lost a ton of weight. The proper ratio for you, because you're an individual and your macro count should be also. MyFitnessPal is a great tool, but it's going to give you just kind of a blanket set of macros depending on your height and your weight. It doesn't take into account whether or not you've had a thyroid disorder. It doesn't take into account whether or not you have metabolic issues. It doesn't take into account whether or not you're going through perimenopause or menopause. It doesn't take into account whether or not you've recently lost 50 pounds and now you're trying to get through a plateau. MyFitnessPal can't take those things into account, and that's where a coach becomes vital. I coach with the Faster Way to Fat Loss, and I help women each and every day meet their macros so that they can meet their goals for weight loss, for getting stronger in the gym, for getting more muscle definition, for having more energy to run after their kids and their grandkids, to having better sleep, to being on the beach this week and having fun with family. I help women meet those goals without starving themselves. Because listen, there are no good foods or bad foods. Food is just food. And I teach you how to count that food and move on. So I hope that helps set some of the records straight about why on earth do we even count macros? And in our next episode, we'll start talking exactly about what macros are and how you go about figuring out what's right for you. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please share it with a friend. Like it, subscribe. I can't wait to see you around here. And I can't wait for you to learn how that you can reach those goals you have for your body without restricting food. Those days are long gone. I can show you a new and a better way. Have a great day.